You press the button for your leftover pizza and absolutely nothing happens. The screen is staring back at you. It has a tiny stubborn icon that looks like a padlock. Your first thought is that the kitchen is cursed. Maybe the circuit board finally gave up the ghost. Most people start looking up prices for a new one right away. But before you go shopping, stop. Your microwave is likely just being overly protective. This is the classic child lock scenario. It plagues thousands of kitchens every single day. It happens when you are cleaning the keypad. Maybe a curious toddler played pilot at the control center. Perhaps you leaned against the counter too hard while reaching for a spice jar. Suddenly, your high-tech oven is a very expensive paperweight. Fix is usually sitting right under your finger. On most of these machines, that stop or cancel button is the secret key. You cannot just tap it. You have to commit to the press. Hold it down for a solid 5 seconds. You are waiting for that satisfying beep. You want to see that little light vanish into thin air. If that does not do the trick, do not lose hope. These manufacturers like to move the goalposts. The sequence depends on which version you have on your counter. Sometimes the start button is the hidden trigger. Other times, it is the timer reset button. There are even those rare cases where you need both hands. You might find yourself pressing both start and stop at the exact same moment. It feels like you are entering a secret code just to heat up soup. This is not a broken machine. It is just a machine following its programming. If you have tried every button and the screen is still frozen, try the classic tech support move. Pull the plug directly from the wall. Give it a full minute of silence. This lets the capacitors drain. It allows the internal logic to reset itself completely. When you plug it back in, the computer usually wakes up in its default state. It is often just a simple software glitch. Maybe it was a safety feature triggered by a power surge. It could even be a flickering light in the kitchen. You do not need a heavy toolbox. You do not need a professional repair technician. You just need a little bit of patience. You need the right sequence of moves. Most of the time we overthink these mechanical failures. We assume the worst because we rely on these appliances for our daily survival. But these safety locks are there for a reason. They keep little hands from turning on an empty oven. They prevent accidental activation when you are just wiping away some grease. Even if they feel like an inconvenience when you are hungry, they are actually a sign of health. They show that the safety systems are working perfectly. Understanding your microwave saves you money. It also cuts out a lot of unnecessary stress. It is about taking control of the technology. Do not let a tiny icon ruin your afternoon meal. Just remember that long press. It is the universal language of electronics. It is the machine making sure you really mean it. You are basically telling the computer that the adult is in the room. Once you hear that sharp beep, you are back in business. The display returns to the clock. Your lunch is finally on its way to being hot again. You can breathe a sigh of relief. This simple trick turns a potential $100 repair bill into a 5-second fix. Keep that knowledge in your back pocket for the next time the kitchen decides to go on stray.